Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Madhya Lila, Chapter 9. Lord Sri Gaurachandra is the controller of the universe, and he accepted the garb of a sannyasi not for his own sake, but for everyone's benefit. All glory to the son of Jagannath Mishra and Mother Sachi, and all glory to his Sankirtan movement. All glory to Lord Chaitanya, the very life of Lord Nityananda and Gadadhar Pandit. He is the most beloved of Advaita and Srivas Pandit, Jagadananda Pandit and Haridas Thakur, Vikreshwar Pandit and Pundarik Vidyanidhi, Vasudev and Sri Garbha. Be merciful, O Lord, and look upon every living entity graciously. May the Lord and all his associates be glorified, for by hearing about the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, one immediately attains the supreme goal of bhakti, love of God. Please listen intently to the narrations in Madhya Khanda, because they depict pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Now hear the descriptions of Lord Chaitanya's Mahaprakash Lila, or Great Revelation, for this fulfills the desire of all Vaishnavas. The Lord manifested the glorious Sat Prahariya Bhava, or 21-hour-long devotional emotions. In this pastime, he wonderfully revealed his different incarnations, his extraordinary feat of feasting, and freely giving away to the devotees pure love of Godhead. And all the Vaishnavas honored the Lord in a grand bathing ceremony known as Raja Rajeshwar, fit only for the most powerful kings of the universe. One day, Lord Gaurasundar came to Srivas Pandit's house, accompanied by Lord Nityananda, who was beside himself with joy. Gradually, all the Vaishnavas assembled there. Lord Gaurasundar, who was then fully engrossed within himself, looked about him, as a regal personality surveys his surroundings with intensely powerful glances. The devotees could perceive the Lord's mood, and immediately they started loud kirtan. On other days, the Lord would dance in the ecstasy of a devotee servant of the Supreme Lord. Then, changing that mood momentarily, he revealed his identity as the omnipotent Supreme Lord. That mood also would change quickly, and he would again revert back to the mood of a devotee. But today, to the good luck of the assembled devotees, the Lord stood up as if to dance as usual, and instead sat on the throne of Lord Vishnu. On previous occasions, the Lord would sit on Lord Vishnu's throne immersed in devotional ecstasy, as if unaware of his own conduct. Not so today. Today, he did not obfuscate his real identity with the cloak of his internal energy, but he sat on the throne continuously for 21 hours. The devotees stood in front of him with folded hands and hearts effervescent with joy. It was a wonderful sight. The devotees were fully content. They spontaneously expressed that it felt like they were in Vaikuntha. And so it was. The Lord sat amidst all the devotees like the Lord of Vaikuntha, and everyone present there became totally free from the influence of the illusory material potency. Lord Chaitanya instructed, "Sing that bathing song." The devotees were very pleased, and they began to sing. The Lord gently swayed his head sideways in time with the song and showered the devotees with his merciful glances. The devotees now could surmise the Lord's mood, and they desired to perform his abhishek, or bathing ceremony. The devotees brought water from the Ganga. First they strained the Ganga water. Then they added musk, sandalwood paste, saffron, and camphor into it proportionately, preparing everything with increasing love of the Lord. They began the ceremony with jubilant shouts and started chanting appropriate mantras. Lord Nityananda was the first to pour water on the Lord's head. He kept repeating Jai, Jai, as he did so with great pleasure. Other leading devotees like Advaita Acharya and Srivas Pandit bathed the Lord, chanting the famous Purusha Shukta prayers. The devotees of Lord Gauranga are very well versed in the science of the scriptures and of chanting Vedic hymns, so they poured water accompanying it with mantras. Mukunda and others were singing sweetly the bathing ceremony song, and other devotees wept or danced with overwhelming happiness. The upright and chaste wives were ululating with joy. The entire assembly was immersed in an ocean of bliss. The Lord of Vaikuntha, Lord Gauranga, remained seated, and the devotees one by one poured water on his head, bathing the Lord. Usually on such religious occasions, 108 pots of water were required, but today it far exceeded that number. Even the demigods came there not wanting to miss the opportunity to make more spiritual progress, but were disguised so as not to be recognized. Whereas even a drop of water offered to the lotus feet of the Lord with the proper meditation is sufficient to ward off punishment given out by the god of death, what to speak about the good fortune of the people who were able to bathe the Lord directly and who were present there in person. All the servants and maidservants in Srivas Pandit's house were also engaged in bringing water for the Lord. The wonderful result that one enjoys from serving the Lord was amply proved by one incident. One of the maidservants, a pious woman named Dukhi, which means sad, was one of the water carriers. The Lord saw her actively engaged and told her, "Bring more, bring more." The Lord was so impressed with her devotional service attitude that he changed her name to Sukhi, or happy, indicating he had taken away her distress. Having bathed the Lord, accompanied with the chanting of the Vedic mantras, the devotees dried the Lord's body. They dressed him in fresh new clothes and smeared his transcendental and exquisite body with fragrant sandalwood paste. They cleaned Lord Vishnu's throne and arranged everything properly, and the Lord sat on the throne, which was truly his. Lord Nityananda held the umbrella over the Lord's head, while one of the more fortunate devotees began to whisk the Lord with the chamara. The devotees collected the paraphernalia for offering worship to the Lord and began to worship him. Their offering tray was packed with Charanamrita, fruits, achamani, incense, fragrant oil, lamps, new clothes, Brahmin thread, etc. As customary, they worshipped him with 16 ingredients. Applying sandalwood paste on Tulsi manjaris, they offered it at his lotus feet. The Gopal mantra, consisting of 10 syllables, was chanted while they offered worship, following strictly the rules of this particular worship. All the devotees were offering their prayers to him. All the stalwart associates of the Lord, like Advaita Acharya Prabhu, fell before the Lord's feet like rods and offered full obeisances to him. All the devotees were experiencing spiritual love for the Supreme Lord, and the tears cascading down their cheeks mingled and flowed like a river. They constantly chanted verses eulogizing the Lord, and the Lord heard everything with great satisfaction. They prayed, "All glory to the Lord of the universe. Kindly direct your merciful glance on this world, now ablaze with the threefold suffering. All glory to the original cause of everything, the maintainer of everyone. You have advented to inaugurate the congregational chanting of the holy name. You established the Savatam Dharma of the Vedas, and you are the protector of the pious, the original soul of all the 14 worlds. All glory to Lord Chaitanya, for he is the redeemer of the most fallen souls, an ocean of transcendental qualities, the supreme shelter of the meek and poor. All glory to Lord Chaitanya, who is Brajendranandana Krishna, and who expands to Lord Vishnu and lies on the ocean of milk like Kshirodakshay Vishnu. He appears as an incarnation for the pleasure of his devotees. All glories to Lord Gauranga, who is the original and absolute, inconceivable, unperceivable. He is always transcendentally situated, the compassionate, supreme person. All glory to Lord Chaitanya. He was born in a family of Brahmins as the crest jewel of this class, as well as to liberate the entire Brahmin population. He is the origin of the Vedic religion, the life and soul of every living entity. All glory to Lord Chaitanya, who saved Arjuna from an inglorious death, and he gave liberation to the demoness Putana. All glory to Lord Chaitanya, who never sees the faults of living entities. He is the husband of the goddess of fortune. With such chosen words, the devotees praised the Lord. The Lord's servitors were drowning in an ocean of bliss, seeing Lord Chaitanya manifest this extraordinary mood. The Lord mercifully removed the veil of Maya from everyone's heart and offered his lotus feet to be worshipped by his devoted servitors. Some devotees brought sweetly perfumed oil and smeared it on the Lord's lotus feet. Others worshipped him with an offering of tender Tulasi leaves. Again, more came, offering precious gems, gold and silver ornaments, and paid obeisances at his feet. Many valuable gifts were offered to the Lord. White, blue, and bright yellow silken clothes, a variety of precious metal containers were placed in offering at the lotus feet of the Lord. The gifts were countless. All the household servants in Srivas Pandit's house, by dint of serving a pure Vaishnava, now could directly serve Lord Gaurachandra's lotus feet. Even Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Lakshmi Devi aspire for that mere opportunity. They offered many items of worship to the Lord without fear or hesitation, the Lord having removed his reverential mood. They brought unhusked rice, tulsi, durba grass, musk, saffron, camphor, and varieties of fruits, fragrant blossoms, sandalwood, and placed them at his lotus feet. Each one worshipped according to his heart's inclination, following different rules of worship. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Lord of Vaikuntha, exhibited another of his extraordinary pastimes. He said to the devotees, "Get me something I want to eat," and held out his hand. Whatever the devotees offered, he ate it. The different Vaishnavas brought a variety of foodstuffs to eat: banana, mung dal, yogurt, sweet condensed milk, butter. They put it in the Lord's hands, and undisturbed, he ate everything. Some of the devotees hurried to the market and rushed back with the choicest articles. They offered the Lord coconuts, a variety of milk sweets in huge quantities, blackberries, green melons, sugarcane. Some even brought water from the Ganga. The Lord ate everything. Seeing the Lord was happily eating, they brought generous helpings of more delicacies many times over. Hundreds of devotees gave gallons of Ganges water, and the Lord, who is the greatest of the mystics, drank it all. Hundreds of barrels of yogurt, sweet condensed milk, hundreds of bunches of bananas, huge amounts of mung dal, mountains of milk sweet preparations, camphor, betel, fruits, and nuts were instantly consumed by the Lord in front of the amazed and gaping devotees. The Lord contentedly ate everything offered to him, and in turn, he revealed all the details of the devotees' past lives. When the devotees heard their individual stories, they remembered their earlier days and fell to the ground in ecstasy. The Lord addressed Srivas Pandit. "Do you remember? You used to hear lectures on the Srimad Bhagavatam at Devananda Pandit's house. Every line of the Bhagavatam is saturated with the nectar of divine love of Godhead, and so your heart melted on hearing those recitations of Bhagavatam. You had cried loudly and had fallen unconscious to the ground. The neophyte and ignorant students there, not knowledgeable in the matters of bhakti yoga, could not understand the reason for your extraordinary behavior. You were engrossed within yourself in the ecstasy of love of Krishna, oblivious of the external world, and so did not know they had carried you outside. Devananda Pandit, their teacher, witnessed the entire happening without dissuading his students. Since he himself was inexperienced in the science of Krishna consciousness, it is expected that his students would also be like him. On waking and finding yourself outside on the street, you picked yourself up and returned home feeling sad. Your sadness persisted, and so you preferred to be alone. You desired to read the Bhagavatam again. Seeing your sorrowful state, I descended from Vaikuntha into your heart and made you weep with the ecstatic emotions of your love for me. You experienced happiness again, reading the Bhagavatam, and submerged with your tears the place you were sitting in." When Srivas Pandit heard this, he was overcome with emotions, and he fell to the ground crying and drooling, breathing fast and heavily. In this way, the Lord spoke to Advaitacharya Prabhu and different devotees and brought back to them recollection of their earlier days. He submerged the devotees in an ocean of bliss while he sat on his throne, chewing betel leaf. The devotees danced and performed kirtan, singing Jai Sachinandana, all glory to the son of Mother Sachi. If perchance a devotee was not present, immediately the Lord had him brought before him. He put his hand out and would say to him, "Give me something to eat," and whatever was offered to him by them, he ate it all. Then the Lord would say, "Do you remember that night I came to you as a doctor and sat next to your bed? I had cured your fever." On hearing this from the Lord, the devotees would fall down, overwhelmed by uncontrolled spiritual emotions. Seeing Gangadas, the Lord said, "Can your mind recall that night you were escaping from the Muslim king, fearing capture? Your whole family was accompanying you, and when you arrived at the ferry stand, there were no boats. You were in a great dilemma. The night was turning to dawn, and still no boats were in sight. You began weeping in anxiety. You shuddered at the thought that the Muslims might molest your family in your presence, and so it was better to drown in the Ganges, you thought. At that moment, I appeared as a boatman, rowing a boat towards you. Your spirits lifted, seeing the approaching boat. You spoke to me, the boatman, with affection, saying, 'My dear brother, please take me across. I surrender my body, wealth, life, everything to you. I solely depend upon you. Here is a couple of rupees for your endeavor. Take me and my family to safety.' Then I ferried you and your family across and returned to my eternal Vaikuntha abode." Gangadas was carried on the waves of blissful ecstasy from hearing the Lord. Such are the wonderful pastimes of Lord Gaurasundar. The Lord continued, "Do you recall that incident? You were so worried, and I came to your rescue and brought you across." Gangadas, unable to contain himself further, fell to the ground, rolling in ecstasy. Lord Chaitanya, the Lord of Vaikuntha, is sitting on his throne, his body covered with sandalwood paste and nicely decorated with fragrant flower garlands. One of his dear servants is fanning him, another is arranging his hair, some other is preparing betel and offering it to him. Many of them were dancing in ecstasy around him. How the entire day passed, and how the darkness of night stole in, went unnoticed. Realizing that it was night, the devotees got busy lighting up the lamps, and they offered the lamps in worship at the Lord's lotus feet. They began to perform kirtan, playing kartals, gong, conch shell, mridanga drum, and string instruments. The Lord continued, sitting in a benevolent mood, but remained silent, in spite of the devotees' various activities. Devotees offered different kinds of flowers at his lotus feet and prostrated themselves before him, saying, "O Lord, protect me." Some devotees prayed to the Lord with great humility. Others were singing loudly in praise of the Lord. The sound of jubilant crying was the only thing one could hear. Everyone present experienced such an indescribable and wonderful, elated feeling right at this moment that everyone joining the assembly felt like immediately being transported to the Vaikunthas. In this way, the Lord exhibited a mood of supreme opulence, while all the devotees stood circling the Lord with folded hands in reverence. Lord Gaurasundar behaved in a casual manner with his disciples, placing his lotus feet on them, and in this manner he performed his transcendental pastimes. Lord Gaurasundar was in his munificent mood, ready to disperse boons to his devotees, and the devotees remained, surrounding him with folded hands. The Lord showered his causeless mercy on everyone as he performed the pastime of 21-hour ecstasy. The Lord then ordered, "Go and bring Sridhar immediately. Let him see my opulence. He is constantly thinking about me in separation. I want him to come right away. Go to the outskirts of town and sit there, waiting for anyone that calls for me, and bring them here to me." The Vaishnavas rushed to fulfill the Lord's order and went in the direction of Sridhar's residence. Now, here's some stories about Sridhar, how he made a living from selling kola, or the trunk of the banana tree. He buys the kola joint, and then cutting it into short pieces, he sells them. Whatever he would make in a day, half of it he would spend in buying offerings for Mother Ganga. The other half he would use to maintain himself. This is the test of a true devotee of the Supreme Lord. Sridhar is a very honest and truthful person, like Yudhishthira Maharaj. He always quotes the correct price of his ware, and never once vacillates from it. Those who know this fact buy from him at the price he quotes. In this humble way, this great soul lives in Navadvip. Known to people only as the kola seller, his real self was unknown to all. He would spend the entire night engrossed in chanting the holy name of Krishna, forgetting everything, including sleep. The atheistic neighbors protested, saying, "We cannot sleep in the night. Sridhar's screaming shatters the eardrums. That poor vagabond cannot even fill his belly, so now in the night he is kept awake by the pangs of hunger." The atheistic neighbors invited sure doom for themselves in speaking in this manner, but Sridhar continued his spiritual activities unperturbed and remained always joyful. He loudly chanted the holy name all night long with overflowing love for Krishna. The devotees who had gone to find Sridhar had covered only half of the way to his house and could already hear his loud chanting. Following the voice, they came to Sridhar's house. They said to him, "Please come with us, O Holy One, and meet Lord Chaitanya. We are greatly blessed being in your august presence." When Sridhar heard the mention of Lord Chaitanya, he became overwhelmed with ecstatic feelings and fell unconscious to the ground. Quickly, the devotees picked him up, and they very slowly and gently led him to the Lord. Lord Chaitanya was extremely happy to see Sridhar and called out loud and warm invitations to him, saying, "Come, come, you have amply worshipped me. Many lifetimes you spent in my devotional service. In this life, you have rendered abundant devotional service. I have tasted your kola countless times. Many times I took different things from your hands. You have forgotten the verbal exchanges we had." When Lord Chaitanya was manifesting his pastimes as a scholar, he acted bold and insolent. During this time, hiding his real identity, the Lord would daily enjoy Sridhar's company under the pretext of bargaining with him. He would go to his shop and purchase banana, spade, etc. Daily, they argued about the price for several hours, and finally the Lord returned with his purchases, bought at half the actual price. The truthful Sridhar always quoted the correct price, but the Lord picked the goods himself and paid only half price. Then this would excite Sridhar. He would jump up and try to take the goods back from the Lord. The Lord would then say, "Why, my dear brother Sridhar, you are a renounced person. I think you are very rich. Then why do you try to snatch away these things from my hand? I am also surprised that in all this time you do not know who I am." The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Chaitanya, saw there was no trace of anger on Sridhar's face, and so he snatched away the articles. Lord Gaurasundar was looking so beautiful that he could captivate even Cupid's mind. His fine forehead was decorated with radiant Vaishnava tilak marks. He wore the dhoti in a most attractive manner, tucking it in 3 different places. His earrings were nicely designed and slightly slanting. The Lord's temperamental eyes were both extremely agile and restless. The shining white Brahmin thread goes elegantly around his shoulder. Lord Anantashesh has accepted this very thin form of a Brahmin thread to decorate the Lord. He smiled at Sridhar with cherry lips reddened from chewing betel, and again picked up the articles. Sridhar said to the Lord, "Listen, O Brahmin, please forgive me this time. I am just your dog." The Lord replied, "I know you. You are very cunning. You have saved much money selling these banana spades." Then Sridhar spoke, "Are there not any other shops besides mine? Please purchase from there at a cheaper rate." Lord Chaitanya said, "I do not want to so easily abandon a steady supplier like you. Give me these spades and take the money for it." Sridhar was helpless against Vishvambar's charm, and so he smiled at him, captivated by his extraordinary beauty, while Vishvambar continued his harangue, being very pleased with his eternal associate and devotee, Sridhar. Lord Chaitanya said, "Every day you buy offerings from Mother Ganga. Then, why can you not sell me your things at a discount? I am the father of Mother Ganga you worship daily. This truth I am revealing to you." Sridhar, shocked at hearing this, covered his ears with his palms and repeated Lord Vishnu's name, and seeing that Vishvambar was in an insolent mood, gave him the banana spades. In this way, the Lord bargained and fought with Sridhar every day. Sridhar thought of the boy as a very restless young Brahmin. Sridhar finally agreed, "I give in to you. I will give you something free of cost, but then please leave me alone. What will I lose if I give away a piece of banana spade, a banana flower, and a slice of banana root?" Lord Chaitanya replied, "Good, good, that is enough. Do not give any more." The Lord daily ate dishes prepared with Sridhar's gifts. The Lord loves to receive gifts from his devotees. He would never ask for anything from a non-devotee. The Lord desired to perform this pastime, and so by his arrangement he had Sridhar sell kola. Who can understand these transcendental exchanges between the Supreme Lord and his devotee? No one can perceive these supramundane activities without the blessings of the Lord. Then Lord Chaitanya said, O Sridhar, behold my beauty. Today I will bestow you with 8 mystic perfections. The great devotee Sridhar lifted up his head and saw that Lord Vishvambar had changed his complexion and become as dark as the bark of the tamal tree. He was holding a flute in his hands, and on his right stood Lord Balaram, and the entire scene was engulfed in a glowing radiance. He saw Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva approach their lordships, and offering lotus and betel, they began reciting verses in praise of the Supreme Lord. Lord Anantashesh was standing behind the Lord, his hood above the Lord's head like an umbrella, and saintly personalities like Sanak, Nard, and Shukadev Goswami offered prayers to the Lord. All around, the beautiful heavenly damsels sang, glorifying the Lord with folded hands. Sridhar, seeing this wonder of wonders, was so astounded that in the next moment he slumped to the ground. The Lord called out Sridhar's name, asking him to rise. Sridhar, on hearing the Lord's command, awoke from his swoon and stood up. Lord Chaitanya instructed Sridhar, Sridhar, say something glorifying me. Sridhar replied, Dear Lord, I am illiterate and foolish. What intelligence do I possess to glorify your lordship? But the Lord said, Anything you speak is always glorifying me. By the Lord's order, Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, now presided over Sridhar's power of speech, and Sridhar began to glorify the Lord. All glory to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glory to Lord Vishvambar, the Lord of Navadvip. All glory to the Lord of the entire cosmic manifestation. All glory to the son of Mother Sachi, Vishvambar. All glory to Lord Chaitanya, whose incarnation and activities are a mystery even in the Vedas. He has appeared as the best of the Brahmins. He appears in every millennium to uphold religious principles, taking different forms. Secretly, you went about the town, managing and maintaining everything, your real identity unknown to all, and it is impossible for anyone to know your real self without your mercy. O Lord, you are the religious principles, the prescribed duties, the devotional service, knowledge, scriptures, the Vedas, and the object of all meditation. You are the mystic perfections, the ever-increasing opulence, the enjoying spirit, the path of mystic yoga. You are the faith in man, benevolence, illusion, and greed. You are Indra, the king of heaven, the moon, fire, water. You are the sun, the air, wealth and strength, devotion, liberation. You are Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. O Lord, you are not in need of anything, because everything belongs to you. You had told me earlier that Mother Ganga, whom I worship, has emanated from your lotus feet, and yet due to my sinful heart, I would not recognize you. I had no realization of your supreme position. You are the same Supreme Personality who had previously blessed Gokula with your appearance, and now you have again incarnated as the sweet Lord of Navadvip. You are the embodiment of the highest esoteric process, that same devotional science you have propagated all over Navadvip. Bhishma defeated you, making you break your promise in battle because of his devotional service, and for the same reason, Mother Yashoda bound you. Satyabhama purchased you by the power of her devotional service. Captivated by the love of your devotees, you carried the young cowherd boys on your shoulders. The entire creation carries and cherishes your thoughts in their hearts, yet you carried Sridham on your shoulders. It is a great secret and mystery how you are defeated by your devotees. You are conquered by devotional service. This is a great secret, a secret the people of this world do not understand. Devotional service always defeats you. After defeating you, devotional service enters you and hides within you. Material illusion cannot touch devotional service. Because of devotional service, material illusion becomes crushed into pieces. Look, all the worlds beg for devotional service. When they beg for devotional service, the people defeat you 2 and 4 times over. When they beg for devotional service, the people make you their captive. Hearing saintly goddess Saraswati speak these words through Sridhar, all the Vaishnavas became filled with wonder. Then Lord Chaitanya said, Sridhar, ask for a boon. Today I give you the 8 mystic powers. Now they are in your grip. Sridhar said, Lord, what will I buy from you? Please be peaceful at heart. I do not want anything. Then the Lord said, Look, I am not unhappy. I must give you a boon, whatever is in your heart. Ask, ask, again and again, Lord Chaitanya demanded. Sridhar said, Lord, give me this boon. May the Brahmin who gave coins for my banana leaves be my master, birth after birth. May the Brahmin who quarreled with me be my master. May he give me his lotus feet. Again and again, speaking these words, Sridhar was overcome with love. Raising his arms, he loudly wept. Seeing Sridhar's great devotion, the Vaishnavas were overcome. They also wept. Smiling, Lord Chaitanya said, Listen, O Sridhar, I will give you a great kingdom. I will make you a king. Sridhar said, I don't want that. You please become my master, and I will sing your name. Then Lord Chaitanya said, Sridhar, I am your servant. Look at how I appear before you. Still, I won't argue with you. Now I give you pure devotional service, which is hidden even from the Vedas. Then sounds of Jai, Jai came from the circle of Vaishnavas. Everyone heard how Sridhar received the boon he wished. How does one recognize a true servant of Lord Chaitanya? Not by his possessing wealth, not by many followers, not by material education. What is the value of material education, wealth, beauty, fame, and noble family? They only increase false pride without limit. Sridhar, who sold bananas and banana roots, was unable to see the Supreme Lord, whom even millions of kings cannot see after millions of kalpas. False pride and aversion to devotional service lead one to a life of hedonism. Hedonism makes one fall down. Then one's future becomes unknown. A proud person who mocks the devotees, thinking them fools or people suffering in poverty, goes to the hell called Kumbhipaka. That is the punishment for his misdeed. Who has the power to understand the Vaishnavas? The Vaishnavas possess all mystic perfections. Anyone who mocks the Vaishnavas goes to an inauspicious future. The banana leaf seller, Sridhar, bears witness to this truth. Simply by engaging in devotional service, he attained the 8 mystic perfections. If you see a Vaishnava suffering, you should know that his suffering is spiritual. Actually, in the end, it is spiritual bliss. Persons blind with the desire for sense pleasures cannot understand. Persons mad with the desire for material education and material wealth cannot understand a Vaishnava. Persons who study Srimad Bhagavatam but do not accept devotional service find their intelligence is destroyed. Persons who blaspheme Lord Nityananda find themselves completely destroyed. Anyone who hears this description of Sridhar attaining a boon and offering prayers to the Lord will attain a great treasure of pure love for the Supreme Lord. Persons who do not blaspheme the Vaishnavas attain Lord Krishna. They attain pure love and devotion for the Supreme Lord's lotus feet. One should never blaspheme the Vaishnavas, for such activities bring great sin. Anyone who does not blaspheme the Vaishnavas becomes very, very fortunate. Lord Krishna delivers anyone who once, without offense, says Krishna. That is the truth. It is the truth. I bow down before the Vaishnav's feet. Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda are my life and soul. The 2 moons, Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Sri Nityananda, are my life and soul. I, Vrindavan Das, sing the glories of their feet.